This podcast is presented by Castrol Edge Euro, the #1 brand recommended by technicians in Europe. Did you know that almost 50% of European vehicles in Canada come factory filled with Edge Euro? Offer better oil. Offer your customer Castrol Edge Euro. Questions? Contact your local auto parts distributor, or Wakefield Territory Sales Manager, or customer service at 1-800-268-5339. Good day, everyone. It's your host, Andrew Ross. Now, the issue of technology in shops is not necessarily a new one, but there are definitely those among the shop owners who look at some implementation of newer technologies, whether that's AI for receiving calls or other different assistants, digital assistants, and are a little reluctant to put them in place for fear that they might put a distance between them and their customers, which is something that they're pride themselves on, having that face-to-face contact, that face-to-face in-person relationship with those customers, and they don't really want anything to get in the way. So here to talk about that and how maybe that's not necessarily the case when it comes to technology is Murray Voth. Murray Voth from RPM Training. Welcome to the podcast again, Murray.
Hi, Andrew. Good to be here.
Yeah, happy July.
Yes.
We're talking, we're just on the tail end here of a big heat wave. I don't know about wherever you are listening from, folks out there, but it has been hot. Just about everywhere.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, it's just been, we're in BC here, we're fine.
Yeah,
so far.
Well, we're fine.
Yeah.
But
good.
Having said all of that, certainly I've had conversations with shop owners who, they're not necessarily technophobic. I mean, they certainly have, tools in their bays for fixing cars. But when it comes to those customer facing or customer interaction overlapping pieces of technology, a bit reluctant. They don't know if they want to really have automated things or online tools that might get in the way again of picking up the phone and talking to their service advisors or vice versa or whatever. I mean, what are you hearing from your your masterminds and your other shop owners that you're talking to every day?
Well, I was going to just contrast what you said just as I dive into this, that on the flip side, there's a segment of shop owners signing up for every shiny ball that they could see.
There is that too, yes.
And then there's so something that I have talked about for many years in business, my business career, coaching people, shops, is to use technology to enhance what we already do well, right? So there has to be, what is our intention? And then is there technology that can enhance that intention or save us time or make things easier and things like that? So a direct contrast that we can talk about is, digital vehicle inspections, as far as I know, for sure, have been out since 2012. Obviously, there was people playing for them, but my first exposure was around 2012, right? So we're talking 14 years. Like, this is not new, although to some people it is, right?
It is not new.
Right? I still meet automotive shop owners who say, I don't want to do any of that stuff and that texting and all that. I want to look my customer in the eye and shake their hand. Or they assume that their customer wants to look them in the eye and shake their hand, right? Apparently that's an old school way of making a connection, making a deal, trust and transparency and things like that. I respect that intention. But something that I have learned from some fantastic marketing people over the years is that you can digitally, online, begin to know, like, and trust people digitally. And I have experienced that. I have worked with clients who we have had great success with them in their business. They have paid us to help them with that. Money has exchanged hands. We've been on Zoom, countless times. And then finally, if I happen to be in that market area, we have dinner together with a few of them, and I meet them for the first time after 2 or 3 years in person, right? And the joke always is, you're taller than you are on Zoom, or you're shorter than you are, right?
or I thought you were taller. Yeah.
Right? Or something like that, right? And so, I know that this can work. Now, something that happened during COVID really identified the opportunity for shops to adapt this technology to enhance what they do, or to maybe even make some shifts in what they do, some assumptions that they've made. And that has to do with when we were shut down for those first 2 weeks, and then we opened up because we were essential service, whatever guidelines were there, we had to do what was called contactless service. And not only informal research based on talking to my clients, but JD Power researched this. I forget what the exact report was called, but they identified a whole bunch of the driving public were like, oh, this is amazing. Why did I think I had to wait for my car? This
Right.
is great. I drop it off, I go to work or I go do my thing, and they message me through the day, and then I pick it up after. And it is just so much more convenient. And they're like, this is amazing. Why didn't we do this before? Right?
Right. Right.
And in the early year of that, the report, and I know everybody take this with a grain of salt. JD Power does do this accurately, but apparently the response to this contactless service got to be as high as 70%. Whereas like, wow, this is great. This is so much more convenient. I just like this. And then as the pandemic went longer, it began to diminish little by little. And the research showed that the reason it diminished is because we were essential service, we were one of the few legal places where you could actually talk to a human being in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And so then people began to creep back because they just wanted that socialization that they could get at an automotive shop, right? And then somewhere at the end of the research, it landed, where it was definitely increased significantly from before the pandemic, but let's just say it's running around a 30-ish, a third of consumers love some version of what I now call enhanced service.
Right.
All right. And if you don't mind, I'll go through the list of what enhanced
Yeah,
service
please
is, and
do.
then we
Please
can,
do.
we can pick it apart. First of all, the ability to make an appointment request online. And there are some great technologies today. So they don't want access to your schedule. They don't want to choose 2 o'clock on Friday for their oil change. They just I've forgotten to call you, or they got put on hold the last time they called you, and so they want to go online and just say, I need an appointment for my car for this on Friday, and then you get back to them with an email and you set it up. So digital appointment request, number one. Number two, the ability to receive estimates and digital inspections via text and email. So that, right? And then, of course, the digital communication for that segment of people that like that. Thirdly, the ability to pay digitally, with the text to pay, whatever different methods, e-transfer, stuff like that to pay. And then if you really want to take it to a whole other level, it's loaner cars, shuttles, Uber for business, picking up and delivering is another piece. I have one client in Ontario that picks up 70% of the vehicles every morning,
Right.
right? The shuttle drivers take out the technicians. Technicians take all the cars back. That's their road test, especially if you have a cold start issue in the wintertime, right? They're coinciding all of that. So that's basically what enhanced service is, right?
Right. Right.
The ability for busy people to be looked after. So there's a huge movement south of our border into mobile mechanics. It's just exploded down in the States. It it's around in Canada, and I've heard stories of more people, sort of starting it. And I'm kind of like, I don't want anybody working on my driveway. First of all, like, is it going to be safe? Are they going to spill something? What if they need to go to the bathroom? Are they going to knock on my door? I don't know. Like, I'd just rather somebody picked up my car and delivered it at the end
Yeah.
of the day,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I can
So,
certainly see a place for it. And I don't, I guess I shouldn't pretend to know more about the individual capabilities of every single mobile service, uh, technician or business. But as a customer, I would be concerned about that. Um, as you mentioned, just having somebody working on my car in my driveway. I don't know, changing tires. Maybe I can see easily. It's kind of a bit of a no-brainer. I do it
mhm,
too.
yeah.
But I feel like the chances of suddenly I have, my car needs a new ball joint. Well, now they've got it up on their, whatever rolling hoist to do it all. And, uh, I'm fortunate enough that I have enough space around, but like, I don't know,
What
if I have
what happens if they
I
get
have
stuck?
a
What
narrow
happens if it's not
driveway and I have
movable?
more than one car. Now, how long is this going to take? And what happens if there's a delay in getting the part? And like, et
Yeah,
cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the mind
yeah,
reels, right? I,
yeah.
I, I have a, a strong belief that on balance, and no individual criticisms to any mobile business out there, on balance, I believe that the quality of the repair is going to end up better if it's done in a shop that can handle the unexpected.
Yeah.
That's
And
my feeling.
yeah,
But again,
and
as you say, if you have one of your the shops that you consult with on a regular basis who picks up 70% of their vehicles and brings them in for service, whether it drives them or whatever, I mean, that's kind of ideal, right? So
right, exactly. And talk about a captive audience,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Nobody else in town's doing that.
Right. And I don't
Right?
have to do
So,
anything then. Like I don't,
yeah,
I don't have to
yeah.
drive my vehicle that's maybe giving me trouble. Uh,
Hmm.
the only thing
Yeah,
I might have to do is arrange for, transportation to work or whatever, which might be
yeah,
available also through the shop. I don't know what their dealings are.
yeah.
Or they might be able to, drop me somewhere. It really depends on the individual
Hmm.
cases
Yeah,
these days. I mean, most of the time, that's not available from the independents as far as shuttles. It's just not usually there. Dealers, yes, but generally not from the independents. Um,
but
but
well, I'm going to say my masterminds are pretty proud of most of them. They all have some kind of alternative,
yeah, 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 to be able to
either
do something, right? Yeah,
shuttle or a Uber for business where there's Uber. I get a business
yep. Uber
account,
for business, yep, works, yep.
um, and then courtesy service rentals or loaners and stuff like that as well. So circling back to what I talked about enhanced service, if we talk about some of the generational research, consumer generational research, and I'll just talk about one of my children in their 30s, will not use a service of any kind if it does not have online scheduling.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Hairdresser, nail salon, car repair, the rest of it. All right. So they get they're interested in that type of a business right off the bat. So you think about it. Now, again, the need to meet in person, to shake hands, is that just because you are an extrovert and friendly and you like to talk to people and you get energized by talking to people? I don't want this to go negative, but do you need to be in person with a person to read their body language to see if you've convinced them of the repair? Like,
Right.
is there something that you need psychologically that you have to be in their presence to get that yes? Is it some sales technique that you've learned that you have to be in person? I don't know what the need to do that is. I'm a very social person. I like to visit with people, but I have a busy life. I don't need to be best friends with my automotive repair shop. Will we become friends in time down the road? I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Well, you don't need.
But
I mean, I think I have a good, call it personal professional relationship with my
yeah,
main shop and that. So we're not hanging out on the weekends. I wouldn't mind. He's a good guy. But he has his life. I have mine. But certainly friendly
yeah,
enough to talk to. But when it comes to scheduling service, like they, I send them a text on my text thread that I've had with them saying, hey, or I go to their site which has like a book an appointment on it. I
yeah,
send them the note. They send me a note back saying, well, I usually have a fairly good idea for whether it's just like a standard service, A service, B service, oil change, that kind of thing, or if there's something else. And then they'll send me a note back saying, okay, yeah, bring it in for this time at this
yeah,
day. And we'll have a look at it. If there's any other service required, we might have to have you come back in, or we'll let you know a little bit about what, if
yeah,
it's something that we can get right away, then no
yeah,
problem. But if it's something more involved, we might have to reschedule for a
yeah,
second visit to do that, to execute
yeah,
that. And we know that. And it's all handled over
yeah,
text and email. It's like duplicated, right?
yes, yeah,
And from a standpoint of the tool that they use that I really like is that one of my vehicles that I got, and I had like a full inspection done when I purchased it by them, a full detailed inspection, and uh, and I go back to that, and it
right.
was
Like all the
a few
photo, they
years
took
ago. It was a
photos
few
and
years ago
everything.
because I can't do all of that stuff all at once. I go back to it and go, okay, these are the 5 things I want to do now. Then I'm going
Yeah.
to do these other 5 things. Then I'm going to do these
Hmm.
3 things, and nothing else. As long as nothing else comes up, I'll get through all this in about a year and a half.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
and uh,
and
and but I have
that's
it right here on my phone.
yeah.
You
And
know,
the beauty of that is the consumer, like for decades, has said, I'm so tired of taking my car to the shop because every time I go there, they find something wrong with my car. And it's always, whatever,
well,
400,
yeah,
500, 1,000 or
I
whatever.
know what
And
happens.
then, of course, and then there's the old 1995 oil change bait and switch to get you in the door and you leave
Yeah,
with a
and that's
$2,000
not good.
bill.
and that's not fair.
But here's the thing that a good digital inspection can do much quicker than any paper one did. Like we did used to train a paper inspection that did this. It was just a bit more work, and it happened at the end of the day when you picked up your car. Now, all the digital brands that I'm involved with all the major ones that are out there, it opens up with green. Here's what's good with your car.
Yeah,
Your car got A minus, it got a B plus, whatever. It's
right,
good,
right.
right? Here's the items you brought up that you were concerned about. You brought it with a leak or a tire repair or something that whatever. Here's what our technician thinks is a priority in terms of a red, right, for today.
Yeah.
So these are the estimates for the red stuff. Let's deal with that. Now we have some yellow items which we can then book down the road for you. We can keep track of it. Your app will keep track of it for you. You know, you always have records of this. And so now what a lot of the consumers are liking about it is just like you said, I can plan this out. I can budget for the urgent items. I know the car is worth investing in because, 75 things were green and only three things were red, and I got, five yellow things to plan for, right? Done well, that really is enhancing the client's experience in terms of understanding how to look after a car and make it
Well,
last.
100%. And in this example that we're talking about now, it also, in a good way, I wouldn't say, ties is not really the thing because I don't want to make it sound like it's a tie that binds, but it sort of ties you to the shop because there's the inspection, there's the thing, these are the details, they've done it, they know what it is, the technician will probably still be there. So when I say, okay, these four things I'm going to do, these three things I'm going to do, they get to know your vehicle, but also, now you're going to go back. So if I'm a shop
Yeah.
owner and I'm like, okay, if I get the opportunity to do these proper inspections, and I will recommend to every shop owner out there, if they are not already doing it, when you have an existing customer or a new
Hmm.
customer come in with a vehicle that's new to them,
Yeah.
really recommend that they get this inspection. How you charge for it, it will be up to you. I think you should charge a goodly amount for it, but even if you did it on the basis that doing that effective, detailed inspection will uh, will help bring the business for those things found in the inspection over the next year or two,
Oh,
is a good plan too. So
and the number of stories, feedback that I've overheard and received from people using these tools where customers are defending the shop against other friends and neighbors who said, I could have got that done cheaper. Why don't you come to my guy?
yeah,
And then the shop's client says, well, does your guy do this? Well, no, they don't do that kind of thing. Well, then I'm not going to your guy because here's the thing, right? All the main brands, the photos are geotag or whatever they call that,
yep,
geocache, like they're proofed, they're time stamped. Like this will hold up anywhere, right?
yeah,
This
yeah.
is
No,
this
it's a
is
good and it's good. And again, I
it's
found it really
yeah,
useful, and in the best possible way,
yeah,
has continued to build my relationship with that shop.
yeah,
That's just me, but I think that probably speaks to the general um, uh, impact of that
yeah,
technology
yeah,
for other
100%.
customers, right?
Yeah.
So online payment is I mean, it's the best, right?
It is. Now,
Like,
on the flip side of it, all online payment is considered by the credit card companies as the card is not present. So
yes,
they charge a higher discount or whatever. It's funny
yeah,
how the
yeah.
credit card
So
companies
there's
call it a
things,
discount.
yeah, yeah,
They charge
yeah,
it a
yeah,
fee
for
for
sure,
it.
for
But the
sure.
thing is the research on enhanced service in North America is such that people are willing to pay a premium for enhanced service, and you can build the cost of
Yeah,
your credit card into your service rate or whatever, right?
you need to do
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
like
So
even on one of these tools that I've seen also, it's I'm not always crazy about all of the kind of financing plans, but one of them is like built right in to the, or you can pay whatever blah 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 a
oh
month for
yeah,
this,
right.
like that kind of business. I
Yeah,
mean, like I'm not crazy about that. I like to pay for my things, when I get them, but not everybody is in that
yeah,
boat,
yeah.
so
So
it makes it kind of easy. But I like what I like about a lot of these tools is that it doesn't require me and the shop to be on the same schedule. They can do those
yes,
things on their schedule. They can
yes,
I can ask for my appointment on my schedule when I'm available. They can review it on their schedule and I can approve
yes.
it on my schedule. So it might take slight little longer. They might be like a day by the time things get kind of sorted. but it gives us that freedom to have our own lives, right? We're not like, I got
Yes.
to go there and make sure that, the tech I want to talk to is in the shop at the time I'm available to go there, and that my car is coming in, and all of that. Like, it just goes
No.
away.
And
If you want to have a great relationship with your customers, make it easy to do
yeah.
business.
Yeah. And here's the thing that the feedback we're getting, and there's no formal organization research this that I'm aware of yet, but my clients are telling me that for years already, people have been willing to leave their cars for a full day or 2 days. Like, they're good clients.
Yep.
They have other transportation, they have other wheels.
Yep.
They like the experience of the at their convenience and the communicating in between the meeting and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so that feeling that we had to get it done now, that I grew up with that service station mentality, like, let's get this done now, right? That's a hard habit to break for our industry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Andrew, I wanna shift gears slightly before we run out of time,
Yeah.
because
We're
there's
getting close here, so let's be quick.
yeah, other technology that I want to just mention to people very quickly on the digital inspections. Regardless of what brand of software you use, a key principle that we've researched and found is always send the inspection first without the estimate. Wait for the client to contact you, and then discuss the estimate and send it to them, because some of the software programs will tell you to send it all at the same time. And if it's a car like yours that maybe needed $3,000 or $4,000 worth of work, that's a little overwhelming dollar value. And now you're going to shut down, and you probably just say no to everything and move on to a different shop, right? So you
Right.
have to do that. But there's one more piece and I'm very proud of one of our coaches, Doug Brackett. He does a special session with our clients called Digital Discussions with Doug. And I think he's been a guest on
I
your
think so.
show.
Yeah.
And he, regardless of just digital inspections, he talks about all the digital tools. So his three service advisors all use the same brand of browser. The browser has all the same bookmarks.
Right. So everybody
So they
knows
can
it.
switch from one computer to the other, and everything is exactly the same,
Right. Right.
right?
We have talked about
They,
this before because it speeds and
yeah,
simplifies those communications so much
yeah.
when everybody is kind of literally working from the same playbook, right?
Exactly, right? And so the other thing that we as coaches are working through right now, we're a little frustrated with, is the lack of electronic calendar use by our clients. And Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, Apple Calendar, whatever, doesn't matter. And we're just wondering, like, how do they even run their lives with kids and families and sports and stuff like that, and they can't, and so we're on a rampage now. We're going to do some training on the value of using digital calendars. And one of the reasons why is it just makes your life more effective as a person. But here's the thing. The best clients with the best cars with the most money are looking for a place that's professional like them. These are all people that live in calendars.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Right? You want to attract somebody, right? Whereas a technician turned owner, casual, shake hands, slap on the back, I'll get it done for you at the end of the day. And they've just never been brought up with formal technology for scheduling and that kind of stuff like that. And I'm just encouraging people, the more professional you are personally as a business owner, the more you're going to attract clients that are professional, that have money, that are going to bring their cars to you.
I couldn't have
So,
ended it better myself. That's it. Putting digital tools in place to enhance that personal relationship with your customers. It's the
mhm,
truth, as it were.
yes,
It is how it works these days. You shouldn't see it as a barrier to those personal contacts. In fact, it frees it up so we don't have to do all that kind of boring scheduling stuff. If we want to talk about cars with our shops and our shop, if you're a shop owner, you love talking about cars and other things with your customers, and you can freeze up that time to do that stuff too, instead of just, when are you
exactly.
available? Can you bring it in Wednesday? All right.
Yeah.
Listen, thanks very much, Murray. Thanks everyone for listening. Don't shy away from the technology. It will help you in your business. It'll help you in your life, make it more sane for everybody who works in your business. Take care, everyone. Have a great time, and enjoy the warm weather if you still got it. Cheers.
You're listening to the Great Canadian Aftermarket podcast, brought to you by the publishers of Indie Garage and Jobber Nation. Connect with us online at indiegarage.ca and jobbernation.ca, a brand of Chat Integrated Media.